A single television show generated over $3 billion in luxury brand sales within just 2 years, fundamentally transforming how an entire generation perceives wealth. This unprecedented cultural phenomenon didn't just entertain millions, it rewrote the rules of luxury marketing and consumer desire in ways the industry had never witnessed before. Welcome to the story of how Succession became the most powerful luxury advertisement ever created, reshaping everything from watch sales to real estate preferences across the globe. When HBO premiered Succession in 2018, nobody anticipated that a family drama about media moguls would become the ultimate blueprint for modern luxury consumption. The show's costume designer collaborated with the world's most exclusive brands to create a visual language of wealth so authentic that it sparked what industry insiders now call the Succession effect. Within months of the first season, sales of specific luxury items featured on screen skyrocketed by margins that traditional advertising could never achieve. The Rolex Daydate worn by Logan Roy became the most requested watch at authorized dealers worldwide, with waiting lists extending beyond 3 years. Loro Piana, a brand that had deliberately maintained a low profile for over 90 years, suddenly found itself thrust into mainstream consciousness. The show's characters wore the Italian brand's cashmere baseball caps and unstructured blazers with such casual confidence that demand increased by 400% in key markets. These baseball caps, priced at $650 each, became impossible to find as viewers scrambled to capture the effortless wealth aesthetic perfected by characters like Kendall Roy. The brand's philosophy of stealth wealth, luxury so refined it doesn't announce itself, aligned perfectly with the show's portrayal of generational money. If you're fascinated by how entertainment shapes luxury culture and want to explore more exclusive insights into this extraordinary phenomenon, please subscribe to Lux Eternal and activate the notification bell. Your support helps us continue uncovering the hidden connections between media, wealth, and cultural transformation. The watches featured throughout Succession tell a particularly revealing story about how the show influenced luxury consumption patterns. Beyond Logan Roy's iconic Daydate, the series showcased timepieces that represented different facets of wealth and power. Tom Wamsgans wore an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, a watch that experienced a 70% increase in secondary market prices during the show's run. The stainless steel sports watch, originally designed in 1972, became the ultimate symbol of new money trying to signal sophistication. Kendall Roy's rotation of watches included pieces from Patek Philippe and Vacheron Constantin, brands representing the absolute pinnacle of horological excellence. His choice of a Patek Philippe Nautilus in one pivotal scene sent collectors into a frenzy, with that specific reference seeing auction prices double within 6 months. The show's attention to detail extended to ensuring that each character's watch choice reflected their personality, background, and position within the family hierarchy. This horological storytelling created an unprecedented educational moment for viewers who had never considered watches as narrative devices. The real estate featured in Succession transformed viewer expectations about luxury living spaces in equally profound ways. The Roy family's Manhattan penthouse, the Waystar Royco offices, and their various international properties established new benchmarks for aspirational architecture. Residential real estate agents reported that clients began requesting Succession-style apartments with soaring ceilings, neutral palettes, and minimalist luxury. The show's production design team spent months identifying locations that embodied a specific type of wealth, one that prioritized space, light, and restraint over obvious opulence. The private jet interiors shown throughout the series influenced corporate aviation design trends in measurable ways. Charter companies reported increased requests for aircraft configured in the understated luxury style featured on the show, rather than the traditional gold and marble aesthetic. The message was clear. True wealth doesn't need to announce itself through garish displays, but rather through quality, space, and exclusive access. This shift in luxury aesthetics represented a fundamental change in how affluence presents itself in contemporary culture. The fashion choices throughout Succession created what industry analysts call the quiet luxury revolution in menswear. Costume designer Michelle Matland worked with brands like Brunello Cucinelli, Tom Ford, and Loro Piana to create wardrobes that felt lived in and authentic. The characters never appeared to be wearing clothes fresh from the store. Everything had been broken in, altered perfectly, and selected with the confidence that comes from generational wealth. This authenticity resonated with viewers tired of influencer culture and logo-driven fashion, sparking a return to craftsmanship and subtle quality. Brunello Cucinelli, the Italian luxury brand known for exceptionally soft cashmere and understated elegance, became synonymous with the Succession aesthetic. The brand's philosophy of humanistic capitalism and focus on timeless pieces, rather than trends aligned perfectly with the show's portrayal of old money values. Sales increased by 60% in North American markets during the show's run, with the brand opening new boutiques to meet demand. The Cucinelli effect demonstrated how television could educate consumers about luxury brands that had never sought mass market recognition. The show's influence extended beyond clothing and accessories into the world of luxury experiences and lifestyle choices. Restaurants featured in Succession experienced booking surges that lasted months after episodes aired. The private dining rooms, exclusive clubs, and remote luxury resorts shown throughout the series became aspirational destinations for viewers worldwide. Hospitality industry analysts noted that the show created demand for experiences that emphasized privacy, exclusivity, and understated service rather than Instagram-worthy moments. The business attire, worn by characters attending board meetings and corporate events, influenced professional dress codes across industries. Law firms, financial institutions, and consulting companies reported shifts toward the Succession style of dressing, with employees investing in higher quality pieces in neutral colors. The show demonstrated that power dressing in the 21st century means wearing impeccably tailored clothes in muted tones rather than bold statements. This workplace fashion evolution represented millions of dollars in luxury menswear sales as professionals sought to emulate the Roy family aesthetic. The handbags carried by female characters, particularly Shiv Roy, told their own story about contemporary luxury consumption. Rather than featuring prominent logos or trendy designs, the bags were understated pieces from brands like Loro and Bottega Veneta. These choices reflected a broader shift in luxury toward craftsmanship and longevity, rather than seasonal trends and social media appeal. Bottega Veneta's signature intrecciato weave, featured prominently throughout the series, experienced a renaissance as viewers sought bags that signaled knowledge rather than wealth. The show's portrayal of family dynamics and generations influenced how luxury brands instead of focusing on aspiration and fantasy, craftsmanship, and the idea of pieces that transcend trends. The Succession effect taught the luxury industry that contemporary consumers, particularly younger generations, valued authenticity and substance. This shift represents a fundamental change that continues to influence years. The eyewear choices throughout Succession demonstrate a shared attention to every aspect of representation. Characters wore frames for clothes, other brands stood for understated images and construction. These brands experienced significant sales increases as viewers sought to replicate the The eyewear industry noted that Succession accelerated the way focused options. The show's influence on footwear choices extended beyond the obvious luxury sneaker trend. Male characters wore impeccably maintained dress shoes from John Lobb, Edward Green, and other traditional English shoemakers. These brands, which had seen declining interest from younger consumers, experienced renewed attention as Succession demonstrated how classic footwear communicates sophistication. The shoe resurgence reflected a broader appreciation for traditional craftsmanship and quality that the show helped cultivate in its audience. The technology featured in Succession, or rather the deliberate absence of obvious technology, influenced how luxury is perceived in the digital age. Characters used phones and devices, but these never became focal points or status symbols in the way they do in other media. This digital restraint reflected how truly wealthy individuals often maintain distance from the constant connectivity that defines modern life. The message resonated with viewers seeking to cultivate a more intentional relationship with technology and digital culture. The Succession effect extended into the art world. with the show's prominent featuring of contemporary art influencing collector behavior. Scenes set in galleries, auction houses, and private collections educated viewers about how the ultra-wealthy engage with art as investment and cultural capital. Art advisors reported increased interest from new collectors who had been inspired by the show's portrayal of art as essential to sophisticated living. The paintings and sculptures featured throughout the series were carefully selected to reflect each character's taste and values, creating another layer of visual storytelling. The show's portrayal of private aviation transformed how viewers understood luxury travel and access. The casual way characters boarded private jets, the functional interiors, and the emphasis on convenience over spectacle created a new aspirational framework. Charter companies reported that inquiries from first-time users increased significantly, with many specifically referencing Succession as inspiration. The show demystified private aviation while simultaneously making it seem like the natural choice for anyone who values their time. The wine and spirits featured throughout Succession influenced consumption patterns in the luxury beverage market. The show's characters drank specific whiskeys, wines, and champagnes that were carefully selected to reflect their personalities and situations. Collectors and enthusiasts began seeking out the exact bottles featured on screen, driving prices up for certain vintages and labels. The show demonstrated how beverage choices function as another form of communication within elite circles, sparking interest in learning this language. The Succession effect on luxury consumption represents the most significant case study in how entertainment can drive purchasing behavior in high-end markets. Traditional luxury advertising, with its carefully constructed fantasy worlds and aspirational messaging, proved less effective than a television show that portrayed wealth authentically. The show's cultural impact extended beyond individual product sales to influence how an entire generation thinks about luxury, success, and the performance of wealth. Industry analysts estimate that Succession generated between $3 and $5 billion in attributable luxury sales across multiple categories during its run. The legacy of Succession in the luxury industry continues to shape brand strategies, retail approaches, and consumer expectations years after the final episode aired. The show proved that contemporary luxury consumers, particularly younger generations with significant purchasing power, respond to authenticity and substance over fantasy and aspiration. This fundamental shift in luxury marketing represents one of the most important developments in the industry's modern history, with brands still adapting their approaches based on lessons learned from the Succession phenomenon.